People will do whatever they can to anchor into predictability. As people, we want to achieve an existence in which we can predict the outcomes as well as the consequences of those outcomes. Predictability is a particularly potent stabilizer, and as such, it brings that sense of security that we've all been looking for. Perhaps it's the reason that you're watching this right now. But the need for predictability is not actually the need for guarantees. In this game of life, even if there is no way to predict what will happen, we're actually willing to accept that uncertainty as long as we believe that our experience will give us a benefit or an advantage. And 2023 brings with it the promise that there is treasure waiting for us, wrapped up in the things we cannot predict. Exiting 2022, we are exiting an unstable year marked by difficulty, problems, and a lot of confusion. It's a year that required us to simplify lest we drown in the complexities that were too tough to manage. The unpredictability and difficulty of the last few years may have left you uncertain about the intentions you want to set for your life, or the choices you want to make, or the right actions to take. The people of Earth are entering 2023 with a pervasive lack of clarity, piggybacking on timid inertia, and so much confusion. Because of this, in the beginning of 2023, the themes of drive and desire are up against resistance, as each person will be face to face with their own personal definition of drudgery. But here's the thing, the challenge of facing the demon of our own definition of drudgery is specifically meant to force us to come out of this confusion and to clarify what we are truly passionate about, what really matters to us, what our genuine values are, and what we honestly want. Essentially, it has come to clear that confusion and that inertia that we are suffering from. 2023 shows us no more patience regarding us living our life according to anything other than what we are truly passionate about. Embracing our passions and designing our life around them is a presiding theme for all people in 2023. Many people on Earth are not living according to their actual values. Many people are disciplining themselves to do what is uninspiring, what is irksome, boring, or menial in pursuit of whatever reward they hope to gain, or in order to avoid some pain that they don't want to experience. Many people are treating their passions like a sideshow in their life, and as a result, they don't feel free. 2023 is a year of liberation, but specifically the liberation of living according to your passion and experiencing fewer obstacles on that path of dedication to what you are truly passionate about. That being said, in 2023, that passion, once discovered, meets practicality. 2023 is not a year for the dreamer. It is a year for the doer, in fact. 2023 is about how we live both functionally and practically. Once we define our passion and start to live according to it, it is our actions that determine our destiny. One of the lessons of this year is to take full responsibility, is to be the one that has the power. This year, quite frankly, what it does is it asks you to seriously consider and define what, where, how, and with whom to invest your energy. There will be a big spotlight that is placed on whether you either do or do not align your words with your actions in order for you to actually be in congruence with yourself. From that place, you must be very intentional with what you do with your willpower. And it is now that we come to the dominant theme for 2023. We cannot be passive this year when it comes to weeding our way out of this pervading confusion. We can't wait for clarity to happen to us. We need to put our energy towards it. But the forces that be are not going to just stand by passively either. In 2023, you will line up with all kinds of information and experiences that help you to clarify what you're truly passionate about, what really matters to you, what your genuine values are, and what you honestly want. The thing is, in one or in a few or in all of these areas of life, most of us are not living lives that are authentic to these things. Most of us are not living the right lives for us individually, and we don't even have a picture for what the right life would be. For example, we may be working the wrong job, trying to establish the wrong relationship configurations, eating the wrong foods for our body, prioritizing the wrong things, doing the wrong things in order to try to get what we want. living in the wrong place, etc., etc. Because of this, to walk a path that represents the full expression of our authenticity, we are in for a plot twist. Plot twist is the dominant theme for 2023, but you don't need to panic about the plot twist of 2023 because it is a plot twist that will bring you closer to what you want as an individual. 2023 will be a very intriguing year, which is why I started off this forecast by talking about predictability. A plot twist, by definition, is not predictable. This means things will happen this year in each person's life that you will have never predicted in a million years. You will make decisions that you would have never thought in a million years you would make. You will take actions that you would have never in a million years thought you would take. But you can step forward into that uncertainty this year, because this year there is a treasure waiting for you, wrapped up in the things that you cannot predict. This is the case even if the specific plot twist you experience involves fear or pain or both. The bottom line is, expect a plot twist in your life. By the way, 2023 is nothing short of a revolution for the people pleasers of Earth. When someone shifts their life into alignment with their own wants, needs, values, priorities, passions, and desires, the less they will abandon a sense of themselves for a sake of confluence. One area that will be particularly impacted by this plot twist theme this year will be your relationships. Humanity's progression has been limited by our very rigid and limited mentality about relationships. We are rigid about how relationships should and shouldn't look. We are rigid about who we should and shouldn't have them with. We are rigid with our this is right and this is wrong mentality about relationships. We're rigid regarding what is possible and impossible in relationships. And quite frankly, we're extremely rigid about sticking to our traditional social structures. This rigidity has no place in a world where each individual needs to create a life that is uniquely right for themselves specifically. The rigidity, limitations, and closed-mindedness with which we approach relationships does not allow for the creativity required for each individual to be happy in the relationship sector of their unique life. Humanity is being called to do away with this one-size-fits-all approach to relationships. Instead, unconventionality and creativity is the new name of the relationship game. As humanity progresses, the institution of traditional marriage will no longer be the foundation for human social structure on Earth. This may be the year that you yourself step into this creativity and as a result end up with specific people or in relationships or in social arrangements that you never saw coming. In relationships, the theme for 2023 is defining what you want in each different type of relationship in your life. People will be rethinking what it means to be a couple or a friend or a colleague or a family. They will be trying to bridge that gap between their individual needs and the demands of their various relationships. And then they will be getting creative enough to actualize what they want. But this will make your relationships look very different than you had previously thought they would look. And it may mean you choosing very different people than you would normally choose to establish relationships with. 2023 demands that you get way outside the relationship box. With our dominant theme out of the way, let's look at some other things that 2023 will bring, both positive and negative, knowing that, of course, there are positive things inherent in negatives and negative things inherent in positives. Starting with the more negative, so we can end on an up note. 2023 is a sad year for the environment of Earth. You will specifically see themes of deforestation and threats to specific habitats putting several species in peril. The consciousness of several species are flirting with an end to their time on Earth. For just a very small example, several species of seal are in jeopardy, so is mahogany, multiple turtle species, the saola, certain species of leopard, the oak tree that cork comes from, orangutans, multiple species of crane, goby bears, carnivorous plants such as the Venus flytrap and the green pitcher plant, true toads, gorillas, red sandalwood, multiple species of porpoise, certain antelope species, you've got polar bears, multiple species of salamander, tigers, several species of frog, rhinos, several species of moss, pandas, certain parrot species, baobab, dragon trees, several species of fungi, and quite frankly, we are headed towards an insect apocalypse. Unfortunately, this is not a year where people will collectively realize the true consequences of this enough to do something genuinely impactful to avert these environmental disasters and the social issues that go hand in hand with them. Despite the fact that the Earth has been trying to talk to us about the consequences of our priorities, humanity's priorities have not shifted, and collectively, humanity's priorities are not in alignment with the best interests of each other or the environment itself. Many species of Earth will suffer because of this, and you will also see people suffer a great deal around the globe as a result of this. The place that stands out the most for this kind of human suffering in 2023 is East Africa, followed by Afghanistan, Syria, Haiti, and then the Ukraine. For humanity's priorities to shift, things have to get worse, and so, unfortunately, the consequences of our very poor relationship with this Earth thus far will be realized later. In line with there needing to be an escalation of consequences in order for humanity to decide to change course, the sad reality is that humanity did not learn the many lessons from the COVID pandemic. They most especially learned nothing regarding the perception of and the fueling of separation, as well as their narcissistic way of being with regards to that which is other. For example, other people, or other places, or other species. People are essentially sticking to their zero-sum game style of relationship with each other and with other species and the Earth itself. And as a result, humanity is lining up with an even harsher wake-up call in the years to come. Two good things on this front, however, are that the climate tech industry is on the rise in 2023, and even though people are not ready to let go of their attachment to the meatpacking industry, fur trade, especially the use of fur in textiles, will be called into question, and there is even a potential that there will be bans on it in 2023. Dare to dream! 2023 brings with it solar storms. From a human perspective, the sun is volatile this year. Unstable eruptions on the surface of the sun pose an issue for technologies and electronics. And while many people love to say that solar storms have no impact on people because of the protective shield of the Earth's atmosphere, that is not true. Solar storms increase radiation exposure. They severely disrupt the electrophysiology of the body. They negatively impact the autonomic nervous system. They exacerbate chronic diseases. They cause headaches and anxiety. And they cause cardiovascular issues. Also on the health front, because confusion is something that people are struggling with and will be struggling with into 2023, and just in case you'd like to know, these mental and emotional issues become physical, doctors beware. In 2023, there will be an uptick in issues related to the vestibular system. In much larger numbers, people will be struggling with dizziness, things like brain fog, vision problems, potentially auditory problems, nausea, fatigue, memory issues, problems concentrating, and vertigo. At the political level, 2023 shows a disorganized jockeying for power around the world. Leaders and governing bodies in each country will be vying for power in the ways that they specifically think is going to bring them that power. For example, India is going to be putting the pedal to the metal in digital lending and commerce, and they will be walking a tightrope between US and Russia. There's going to be a leadership crisis and a covert jockeying for control over the EU, which will leave the EU without a strong leader, even if there technically is one. Russia will continue to establish powerful world allies through mutually beneficial transaction and are prepared to strong-arm those who do not play along. What else? Okay, China. China's president will try to alter laws so as to stay in power. Also, China seeks to establish leadership in the sector of renewable energy, and there will be a surge in opportunities for Chinese citizens to learn digital skills, putting them at the advantage globally in an ever-increasingly digital age. And in the United States, there will be no end to the fight for democracy and no end to the conflicts around freedom and identity politics. The federal government will be trying to take control of the running of payment systems in 2023. Further enhancing the civil conflict between people over whether the government should be running payment systems or whether that is a recipe for, let's face it, government monopoly and therefore control. This strategic and increasingly explicit global rivalry for power between the big powers in the world means that the basis of global economy in 2023 is a wartime mentality. But in 2023, the people themselves are disillusioned by the government and are hesitant to get behind anything or anyone as a result of not being able to gain the power of the people in terms of what the people are for. You will see leaders trying to rally people based on what they are against. At a macrocosmic level of human society, it's an I don't know what I want, but I know what I don't want ideology in 2023. Part of this will be a worker-boss war. Today's employees have a very sketchy relationship with their bosses. And this is only going to increase in 2023 as workers have 0% interest in giving up their power. As a result, you will see more strikes, more union conflicts, more walkouts, more long drawn-out contract negotiations, more job rejections, and struggles to find workers. And of course, who could forget, more workplace conflict. It is a bit random, but pregnancy is going to be on the uptick in 2023. This will, of course, be seen as a really good thing for people who are looking to get pregnant as part of this silent millennial baby boom. And it indicates some faith in the future is coming back to the people, even if it is coming back by a trickle. But the reason that I put this one on the negative list is because, one, when more babies are born to a society that is not being conscious of its impact on the environment, it equals even more of a zero-sum game with the rest of Earth. And two, there will be a surge of unwanted pregnancies this year. All this means the abortion controversy will continue to be a potent argument amongst people. And remember how I said that this year will force people into clarifying what they want? Yeah, pregnancy has a way of forcing that sudden self-exploration and clarity. After all, pregnancy is one hell of a plot twist. And now for the positive. In 2023, realism reigns supreme, and not pessimism masquerading as realism. In general, anything that opposes optimism and anything that opposes the pretense of how we think things should be is usually tagged as pessimism. But realism is not negative, in fact. And what is real contains both positive and negative. Realism is to see things how they really are and to present things as they really are. In 2023, people want what is real. Because of this, the trend in social media and marketing will no longer be to present yourself and your life as if it is perfect. This includes performative wokeness. Instead, the trend will be to be real. This makes me very happy because the cultural attachment to pretense is out in 2023. In alignment with this theme, conspicuous consumerism will see a huge decline in popularity in 2023. For those of you that don't know, conspicuous consumerism is a social trend whereby people show their social status by buying things that are too expensive for people of a lower social status. Let's give you some examples. You've got wearing fur coats, maybe sporting giant diamond engagement rings, driving expensive sports cars, or buying designer brands. In 2023, practicality is in fashion, and so is practical consumption. People's buying habits will reflect their practical needs and practical desires, rather than their need to publicly display wealth or status. Because of all of this, with optimism, quite frankly, flying out the window, inevitably the fashion regarding what we will wear this year will change. It's my prediction that in 2023, we're most likely going to be seeing a more utilitarian, protective, practical, durable style in the clothing that we wear. And in stores, what this means is don't be surprised if you start to see sort of like a grunge meets goth meets punk meets dystopian trend. Because the people of Earth are disillusioned by governing bodies and are increasingly wary of people who have unreasonable amounts of power, anyone with a God complex can expect to be put in check this year. Anyone who tries to play God will be met with resistance. People who demonstrate an inflated sense of personal ability, maybe privilege or infallibility, would be wise to come down to earth in 2023. People will demand grounded, responsible, considerate behavior this year. With as much difficulty as the last few years contained, 2022 was a year of illness and poor health for the people of Earth. So many people faced serious health crisis, and as a result of this experience, the collective consciousness around health is increasing. People are interested in health. They're looking for healthier food. They're wanting to take a preventative approach. They're open to new health alternatives. They're wanting revolutionary products in the sector of health. What else? Oh, they're opening up to the idea that what they eat dictates how healthy or unhealthy they are. Imagine that. 2023 is a big open door for a health awakening and huge progression in the health sector for people of Earth. As such, 2023 will be a brilliant year for anyone with new products in the business of health, especially if those products are alternative. And I have to mention, it's an especially pioneering year for gene modification regarding tissues and its implications regarding reversing disease and restoring youth. Since safety is related to health, the next thing that I should probably mention, but I have to put a caveat here because it's dependent on funding and also citizen support, is that there's actually a potential that in 2023 humanity is going to see the first use of refraction to prevent a populated area from experiencing the damage of earthquakes. Civil engineers are looking to use the principles of acoustics to be able to refract massive energy that belongs to earthquake reverberations and either absorb or send those energies to a specific desired location. Ready for a final one? The process of deindustrialization brought about abandoned warehouses and factories, and the COVID pandemic brought about the abandonment of the office-centric workplace. So many commercial buildings and skyscrapers even are now empty, at the same time as there is a housing crisis in many cities. Essentially, there's a great need for autonomy and job satisfaction that is not compatible to the office anymore. But at the same time, companies still have to find a way to get work done, right? So as a result, the traditional office will be reimagined in 2023. And many of these empty offices will be converted into living spaces to answer to these growing demands for housing. And 2023 is a big year for this. You will see companies doing all kinds of different things on the path to reimagining the office. From campus-style company headquarters that can join the home and the work environment, to creative ways to watch employees work remotely, to rented shared office spaces for employees who want the option of an office space, to workspaces in nature, to entirely digital offices, to offices that are designed specifically to entice employees to want to come into a central location, etc., etc. In 2023, humanity is rethinking the workplace. In 2023, there is an unmistakable aura of discovery. It invites you to make the most of the life you have, to live according to your passions, and to get creative as hell when it comes to designing a life that is right for you as an individual. And this year, remember that there is no passion or merit to be found in settling for a life that is less than what you are capable of living. Have a good year. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and consider sharing this video with your friends. You can also click on the bell icon to be notified of the next time that I post a video. I want to thank you personally for the bravery that you have to step into awareness. I'll see you in the next video.